All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Edwin Lee, San Francisco comedian and entrepreneur, calling in live right now. Can you hear us, Edwin?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, let's lower Edwin down a little bit, I guess, and then put us up a little bit.
All right,
there we go. Cool, we got everybody.
Cool.
Okay. Hooray! Hey, Edwin, how's it going?
It's going very well. How are you doing now?
It's good. It's good. That's you're on live right now on 87.9 FM with Casey and the Notorious B.A.G. That's Casey on the other end, and this is me. You remember me?
Yeah, I know you.
How can we miss Big Al? So what's up, Edwin? What do you got going on?
Tonight I will be at the San Francisco Punchline. I am hosting for Rex Navarrete.
Yeah, we just listened to a clip of his talking about white Barbie dolls and black Barbie dolls, and there was no Filipino Barbie dolls. So you like Rex?
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's very professional. Like when I worked with him in Sacramento, he's just on time. He makes sure everybody does their time on time. He's not a flake, and he's just very professional. And his jokes are very Filipino-centric.
He's Filipino.
I think that's a funny question. That's a funny question Al just asked you as for this comedian that you're hosting and performing with. Do you like him? If you had been like, no, he's a fucking dickweed. That guy's a dickweed. There would have been a little maybe.
So did you ever watch Rex when you were a younger comedian, younger than what you are now? When you were an embryonic comedian? For those of you who don't know, Edwin Lee is what are you, like 21 now?
22.
22. Oh my God, he's out of his diapers.
Big time. And already performing up at the Punchline with Mr. Navarrete.
I think I met you when you were like 18 or 19. Yeah, 18 or 19. Yeah, I think you were 18.
Kimball's East.
That's right, Kimball's East, my very first big stage performance.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long have you been performing, Edwin?
I think about 5 years now.
Wow, got your start young.
Yeah.
That's young. We've probably been doing this around the same time.
Yeah, around that same time.
And you've been crushing it ever since?
Oh, no. I think for the first 2 years I was bombing.
Yeah.
Like all comedians, they all suck when they first start out.
Yeah.
But then after a while, you know how everything works, stuff like that.
You recently, haven't you opened up for Dave Chappelle one night, right?
Oh no!
No. I thought no. That was some other Asian guy.
Other younger Asian dude. Yeah. Funny. It's Al's Mexican, and I get him confused all the time with like Mencia, and I'm like, I have and our co-host Carlos Mencia. Oh, it's Big Al. Oh.
So you're so Rex is from Daly City originally. And you're from originally San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were born and raised here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
so...
in the Asian community, everybody knows about Rex. But he's, like, specifically Filipino. Everybody knows who he is, though. That's the thing.
Did you know who he was when you were growing up?
Yeah, everybody would talk about him, like, if they would bring up Asian comedians. At the time, Asian comedy wasn't as big. There was a scene, but it wasn't as big, and Rex has been a part of it for a long time.
Who else is part of that scene?
Margaret Cho, Henry Cho, and that's all the people I know.
The only two I knew were Henry Cho and Margaret Cho, and I wasn't a big fan of Margaret Cho, but I was a big fan of Henry Cho, who's, for some of you who don't know, Henry Cho is he's the Korean guy who was born and raised in Tennessee, and so he has a Southern accent.
Yeah,
and so that's the whole.
It is you hear him, and if you don't see his face, you're like, who is this?
You think you're listening to blue collar comedy?
Yeah.
But we both opened up for him, right?
Yeah.
You opened up for him at the Punchline, and I opened up for him over at the Improv. A very funny guy, very professional too.
Yeah.
But Rex is great. So you listened to him when you were young. I think the first time I heard him was when I was a little bit older. I was in my 20s, and the first joke I ever heard of his was the one about a pair of pliers.
A pair of pliers.
What do you call two Filipino pilots?
Pliers.
A pair of pliers.
Hilarious. Who were your besides the Asian Brigade? Who were your comedic idols growing up? Who'd you?
Oh man, I got Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Probably one of them. I like a lot of local guys like my two biggest influences has to be Jasper Red and Brent Weinbach.
Yeah.
Those two guys. Arch Barker, Robert Hawkins.
Keeping it local.
Well, he's young. So when he started, when we were listening to, like, when I was young, we were listening to people like Eddie Murphy and stuff like that because we didn't have access to anything else.
Right.
This guy was young and in the scene.
Yeah.
So he had the opportunity.
Yeah,
he had the opportunity to listen to these guys firsthand.
Those are all hilarious.
Yeah.
Arj is blowing up.
My life. Huh?
I just said Arj is blowing up. He's got the Flight of the Conchords and coming back.
Finally, I mean, he's been doing this for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Since the 90s.
Yeah.
So.
What were you about to say, Edwin? Sorry, cut you off.
I was about to say, like, there's the standard, Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Then the new guys, Brian Reed and Mitch Hedberg. Well, I consider them like the new wave or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comic historian.
Yeah, he was definitely part of that new wave.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Eddie Izzard was the first guy I saw that I was like, I want to do something like that.
He was like the first rock star comedian.
Eddie Izzard?
Yeah.
Oh, others said Eddie Murphy.
Oh, sorry, I said Eddie Izzard. No.
He's kind of like a rock star.
He's a rock star of sorts. Speaking of drag, we'll have Vivian Forevermore on after this. But I mean, his combination. I mean, I just think he's like brilliant, and his what he was doing was what he does. Combining nonsense with history and religion. And all
Eddie Izzard. You ever seen Eddie Izzard?
Yeah.
Edwin?
Eddie Izzard. No. I mean, I've seen his CDs, but I don't know. I've never heard his whole act.
Yeah,
he's pretty funny. He's pretty weird. I like weird.
Yeah.
Apparently, I like to make people feel uncomfortable, which I did in San Jose this past week.
So Casey had his first break at the San Jose Improv last Tuesday. I had him come out, and first off, he was late for a comedy show, which is different.
Well, which is different from a radio show. Al, who saunters in 10 minutes late every day. Well, whatever. We don't have to get into that. But it took me. I'd never been to San Jose. I didn't realize the traffic and all that was gonna bite me in the bum ski. But whatever. It happens. But I did a similar act to which I think went over really well here in San Francisco.
So he did a show. He performed last Monday at the Deluxe, where arguably he did very well.
Arguably, I fucking crushed that shit. But whatever. Yeah.
No, he did fine. He did really well. He had his audience there for him, and it was a really good showing. And he's been doing really well at Deluxe. And so I said, he asked if he can come out to the Improv, and I said sure. So he came out to the Improv, and at first I was going to tell him this is a little bit different audience than San Francisco, but I decided against it. And he went up and he did relatively the same act that he did in San Francisco. And tell us about your experience, Casey.
Well, it just was, it was crickets. But I was more. They were more squirming than they were chirping. I think. One guy was like, I asked at one point, I was like, too much, guys? And they're like, yes, too much. Whatever.
Totally different scenes, though, San Francisco and the South Bay.
What did you do?
My joke, I start off talking about how I'm like over Obama, but it's like it's a joke because it leads into the fact, because I'm a gay comedian, I'm gay, and then so I was like, hating on Prop 8 and all of that stuff and saying how it's different, and then, I just I use strong language in describing that stuff because it gets me pissed off, and then I have a joke about gay adoption and how we can't adopt babies, so we're going to have create man ovaries, and by that I mean pooping out babies essentially, which didn't go over.
So he creeped him out basically.
Yeah,
and basically he creeped him out.
And I have a joke about God because he requires people to be circumcised, and it's like the question remains, what does God want with all that baby dick? And I go into that for a little while, and it just was like, I don't want to. I mean, those jokes aren't like curing cancer or anything like that. They're not that big, but I think they're they work. They work to it when a crowd is like following you and like.
Speaking of baby dick, Edwin, I heard your dick is not small.
It's cute.
Your dick is what?
It's cute.
It's cute.
Nice.
Tell us about sharing a restroom with your sister.
That's gross, man. That's one of my jokes, actually. Yeah.
That's what I was leading you into, so you can just tell your joke, not tell us it's a joke. You just tell us the story. That's called leading your act.
Al's a professional.
What happens when your sister's taking a shower?
Oh man, that's good. Well, you see, when I was a lot younger,